Welcome to next episode. There comes a moment in life when you realize that not every battle deserves your energy. Not every argument deserves your voice. Not every person deserves access to your peace. Most people spend years trying to be understood, trying to explain themselves, trying to prove their worth to people who have already decided not to listen, and in that endless struggle they lose something. Far more valuable than the argument itself. They lose their peace of mind. The strongest thing you can do is not to fight harder. The strongest thing you can do is to quietly walk away. Many people believe that walking away is weakness. They think strength means staying arguing, convincing, defending, and proving. But Stoic wisdom teaches a different lesson. True strength is knowing when your presence is no longer valued. True wisdom is recognizing when a conversation has stopped being productive and has become a battlefield of ego. The moment you understand this, your life begins to change. Imagine standing in front of someone who constantly misunderstands you. No matter how carefully you explain, they twist your words. No matter how much kindness you offer, they find reasons to criticize day after day. You keep trying because you hope things will improve. But some people are not looking for understanding. They are looking for control. They are looking for conflict. And the more energy you give them, the stronger they become. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that other people's actions belong to them, while his reactions belong to him. This simple idea carries enormous power. You cannot control what others say. You cannot control how they behave. You cannot control whether they appreciate you, but you can control whether you continue giving them access to your mind. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that not everyone will recognize your value. Some people only see what they want to see. Some people only appreciate what they are afraid of losing. If you spend your life trying to convince everyone of your worth, you will become exhausted. Your value does not increase because someone finally notices it. It was already there. Many relationships survive not because they are healthy, but because one person keeps tolerating what should never be tolerated. They stay because they fear loneliness. They stay because they hope things will change. They stay because they worry about disappointing others. Yet every day they remain in the wrong place. They slowly abandon themselves. The Stoics understood something that many people still struggle to learn. Peace is more valuable than approval. You can spend years winning arguments and still lose your peace. You can spend years pleasing others and still feel empty inside. Real freedom begins when you stop needing everyone to agree with you. Walking away is not about anger. It is not revenge. It is not punishment. It is a decision to stop participating in something that no longer serves your growth. It is the quiet realization that your energy is limited and should be invested wisely. Every moment spent in unnecessary conflict is a moment stolen from your own development. There is a strange thing that happens when you finally leave. The people who ignored your value often begin to notice your absence. The people who took your presence for granted suddenly feel the space you occupied, not because you changed, not because you became more valuable overnight, but because your absence revealed what your presence had been providing all along. Most people only understand the importance of something after it is gone. They overlook loyalty until they experience betrayal. They overlook kindness until they encounter cruelty. They overlook genuine support until they face hardship alone. This is why walking away often teaches lessons that words never could. However, you should never walk away hoping someone will chase you. That expectation creates another form of attachment. Walk away because you respect yourself. Walk away because your peace matters. Walk away because your future deserves your attention. More than your past deserves your suffering. Think about how much energy people waste replaying conversations in their minds. They imagine better responses. They imagine proving the other person wrong. Meanwhile, life continues moving forward. Opportunities pass, joy disappears. Precious time slips away, all because they remain mentally trapped in battles that ended long ago. The Stoic path teaches us to focus on what is within our control. Your character is within your control. Your choices are within your control. Your response is within your control. The opinions of others are not. The actions of others are not. The approval of others is not. When you understand this distinction, Many of your worries begin to disappear. There is dignity in silence, there is power in restraint. Not every insult requires a response. Not every accusation deserves your defense. Sometimes the most confident person in the room is the one who refuses to engage. They understand that not every invitation to conflict deserves acceptance. People often mistake silence for weakness because they cannot imagine having that level of self-control. They assume that if you do not fight back, you have lost. But the Stoics knew that the person who controls themselves is stronger than the person who controls others. Self-mastery is the highest form of power. When you walk away from toxic environments, you create space for healthier opportunities. New relationships enter your life. New ideas appear, new possibilities emerge. But none of this can happen if you remain trapped in places that continuously drain your energy. Growth requires space, peace requires distance from chaos. Many of the greatest regrets in life come from staying too long. Staying in conversations that should have ended. Staying in relationships that were no longer healthy. Staying in environments that damaged self-respect. We often know the right decision, long before we have the courage to make it. The truth is that some chapters of life must end, not because you failed, not because you stopped caring, but because continuing would cost too much. Every ending creates room for a new beginning. Every closed door creates the possibility of another opening somewhere else. As you grow older, you begin to realize that protecting your peace is not selfish, it is necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot help others effectively if you are constantly exhausted by unnecessary conflict. Taking care of your mental well-being is one of the greatest responsibilities you have. The people who truly value you will not require endless explanations. They will not demand that you constantly prove your worth. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not endless justification. When respect disappears, distance often becomes the wisest response. So if you find yourself standing at a crossroads today, wondering whether to keep fighting or finally let go, remember this: walking away is not giving up. Walking away is choosing yourself. It is choosing peace over chaos, wisdom over ego, and growth over endless struggle. One day, you will look back and realize that the moment you walked away was not the moment you lost something,